This was in fourth gear at 70 miles an hour. And the auto blip, I'll be turning right in a minute and you get an exquisite sound from the auto blip. This is a great reason to come to work for having a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This is the 991.1 GT3 RS. This one in particular was produced in 2016. The 991 GT3 RS is something that is what our business has worked towards for all these years, and we have had a few of these. This one in particular is now the third time that we're actually selling this, and we've known both the previous two owners and we'd love to find a beautiful third home for it and be an amazing custodian of the 991 GT3 RS. I'll be taking you through a beautiful test drive, explaining to you everything you need to know about this GT3 RS, just the overall specification, how it drives, handles, and just the pure joy and sound that you get from something like this. Ultimately, this is the best that Porsche has to offer, and there's no better way to illustrate that than to have a GT3 RS as part of our stock. But before we can, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment if you like. We do make money out of our YouTube channels. That money gets donated to a UK registered charity, which we use for humanitarian projects in Afghanistan. So whatever money we earn goes towards a good cause. Now, I think we need to get into the driver's seat and drive it and just tell you a little bit more about what it feels and drives like, and hopefully convince you to getting a GT3 RS. Let's go. The car is warm. And what I will be doing initially is just to rev the engine, just so you can hear the sound. And if you care to know whether the engine is warm, you can see up here that it is warm. You don't have that symbol where it says the vehicle is still cold, so I can't do it. Sports exhaust on, you can hear that. It's got a soft limiter, so unfortunately it's not going to let me go above that 4,000 RPM. Sitting in the inside cabin space of the 991.1 GT3 RS, you wouldn't think something like this is now close to 7 years old. It still feels like that this is still fairly newish. I'm not going to turn on the sports chrono by pressing the PDK Sports button yet, because I just would like to switch on the sports exhaust, hear some good sound, and then we'll switch it on as we get along. We're in fifth gear at 60 miles an hour, and the PCCB brakes, the carbon ceramic brakes, as a matter of fact, are very progressive. It doesn't have that snappy, jerky feeling when you brake. This is something that I absolutely adore on the GT3 RSs, whereas I almost feel that on the GT3s it's just a bit too snappy, too jerky. Now, I will press the PDK Sports button and switch on the sports suspension. In fourth gear at 70 miles an hour, and the auto blip, I'll be turning right in a minute and you get an exquisite sound from the auto blip. just to drive. It holds and hugs to the road and to the lines just incredibly well. I will actually just deactivate the Sport PDK button and just drive it in comfort, because I'd like to be talking about the vehicle a little bit and just explaining that something like this can definitely be, in my opinion, daily. It's done 26,000 miles, and if somebody wanted to drive it 2 to 3 times a week, so be it. Do put the miles on it. They are an amazing Porsche 911 to drive. I've got a customer who bought one of these, and his wife drives it a fair bit, and I've seen her do the runs to the gym, and it's probably no more than 3 or 4 miles to the gym, but it's something that you can do in something like this if you want. But I think where you get the real joy out of the GT3 RS is just beautiful countryside roads, or if you're going to be doing the trips to up north to the south of Wales, or north of Wales, or to the south of France, wherever that may be. Now, performance-wise, let's talk about the technical numbers. This, of course, has the 4-litre naturally aspirated engine. That produces, the 4-litre engine produces 400 brake horsepower. Sorry, 500 bhp, as a matter of fact, not 400, 500 bhp. And the torque is 460 newton meters of torque, and the 0 to 62 miles per hour is possible in 3.3 seconds. The 0 to 100 miles per hour on this is a staggering 7.1 seconds. And the top speed is 193 miles per hour. This weighs 1,330 kilograms. And this is just on some of the technical numbers, some of the technical figures on this. Let's just switch on the PDK Sports one more time. Hopefully lesser traffic this time. Rev matching you get when the gears drop, it's a beautiful response, just so precise and very enjoyable. So far I've only done just under 3 miles on it, and what I also must admit that I like about it is all the extra things that you feel in a GT3 RS. Just the gear selector, it's got this skeleton body to it, finished in Alcantara there. They just go that extra mile with how the steering wheel feels, the overall build quality of the door cards, the fact you've got the fabric straps on the doors. Let's go for another spin. Overall handling on this is the best I've ever experienced of any Porsche, and it's backed by aesthetically this impressive overall look to it, and it feels and it smells the tire tread afterwards after driving it like this. And the GT Sport steering wheel with the paddle shifts just allows that extra level of manual engagement. I'm in third gear, I can drop to second. It's just such a thrilling and adventurous car, and I think by far this is the best we've ever had in our business here at Invictus Motors. And this is ultimately what we live for, what we look forward to, and we are very, very grateful. Dropping it a gear to the third from the fourth, the torque that you get out of it just naturally, just so progressive, it just goes. And even when you're at about 90 miles an hour, it gives more and more and more. It just doesn't stop. And I think that's just credit to Porsche, to perfecting the rear wheel drive, rear mounted engine behind the rear axle. What they've been able to do and achieve is and perfect over all these years. I think it's something to admire and appreciate. Now we're coming towards the end of our test drive, and hopefully I've given you enough food for thought on actually buying one of these and perhaps contacting us on this example. It is just gone up for sale. It's the 2nd of February 2023, and maybe in 10 years time when I'm watching this video, I'll look back at it and just tell myself that was me in a GT3 RS, test driven it, reviewed it, and have lived an amazing life. And I think this is where we are so grateful and thankful for being able to be in this position to ultimately do what we absolutely love. And I think there's no better way or place to do it, you know, when you can do it, when you've got the means and it's all there, it's all in front of you, and it's possible. So thank you for your time so far, and let's talk about some of the other aspects of this car. Back to the 991.1 GT3 RS. Just the look, style and the feel of it, this is just splendid. It is an absolutely ridiculous car, but in a good way, because Porsches are also at the same time very understated. But this wing at the back reflects the true engineering qualities that Porsche are able to bring to the table in having outrageous things, but at the same time these being extremely functional. And then you find this big massive diffuser at the back and all the aerodynamic aspects and qualities to the vehicle and just the overall attention to detail, and every single aspect and corner or element or item of it has been designed to absolute perfection. The sports exhaust being built out of titanium. But let's just start to talk about the bigger items, the things that differentiates this from the 991.1 GT3. The rear wing is finished in carbon. The boot lid is also finished in carbon. The roof is in magnesium. The front fenders are also in carbon alongside the front bonnet. But it's just these scoops and this design that you see here on the fenders, through both of the fenders, and the big enlarged scoops on the side. The fact you've got 21-inch wheels at the back and 20-inch at the front. The space between the wheel arches and the tires is so limited. I mean, you could just barely just about to get your hand in. Well, definitely you can't get your hand in at the back here. But you'd be glad to know that this has the hydraulic front axle lift. So if you've got a driveway or you've got a road towards your property that is a bit rough, you'd be happy to know that this is much easier to drive on a road or on a surface like that, in comparison to a Porsche 718 GT4, because the Porsche 718 GT4s don't have a front axle lift, and they are a pain in the backside actually just loading it onto a truck or just going up and down a driveway that is a bit bumpy. This takes care of that business with no issues whatsoever, and that front axle lift automatically drops, from memory, if I remember correctly, at about 50 miles per hour. Now you've got the central lock GT3 RS wheels on this. It's finished in this gorgeous pure white Porsche color with a sport design mirrors. On the inside you've got things like the Porsche 918 carbon bucket seats. They look incredible. They're built totally out of carbon, and just that area underneath the headrest looks very mean. And you've got the GT3 RS embossed in the headrest. The steering wheel is finished in Alcantara. It's the GT Sport steering wheel, as well as this having the cruise control. You've got the Sports Chrono Plus package, and you've got quite a few aspects of the inside also finished in the Porsche pure white color. So it kind of brings that consistency of what you find on the outside into the inside, and obviously the roll cage is also finished in this white, in this pure Porsche white color. This also has quite a bit of carbon. As soon as you enter the vehicle, on the side sills, you've got the GT3 RS written in carbon. A lot of Alcantara, pretty much the seats are a combination of Alcantara, leather. The headrest is finished in Alcantara. You've got Alcantara here on the front dash, leather with white diamond stitching. And in terms of the front headlights, they are in the bi-xenon dynamic cornering lights. I mean, there's a lot more spec to remember on this, but these are just some of it. And something that I can't be forgetting on this, which is also an optional, is the rear axle steering wheel. Currently this is for sale. We've just got it in stock, and I'll just go through the paperwork briefly. In terms of now the number of former keepers, this has 5 former keepers. The current 6th owner purchased it from us in October 2021, so he's had it for a fair bit of time, and it's got a full Porsche service history. The last service was done on the 27th of 5th 2022, so the next service, as a matter of fact, is due on the 26th of the 5th 2024. It also has a full Porsche warranty, which runs until 2024. So sort of mid-February 2024 is when the Porsche warranty will run out. So paperwork wise, it's got invoices, it's got, I think, a good number of owners, and overall very well maintained, and it's just in exquisite condition. Previously this has also been ceramic coated, so the overall paintwork stays clean, whether you drive it in the rain or in weather where you've got a bit of salt, etc. Over the past 2 years, you'd be shocked to know that this has only done approximately 600 miles from memory, so not been driven at all. For whatever reason, the previous owner, David, just didn't get the time to drive this. It's unfortunate. But just wanted to say thank you for watching our videos. Don't forget to subscribe, You know, we make money from our videos. That gets donated to charity. We get a lot of people inquiring about these jackets. These jackets are for sale. They're for £150. We don't want that money into our pocket. We simply want it donated to the link in the video below, and we'll post you a jacket. Thank you for watching the video, and see you next time. Bye bye.